Hello. This is my video on how to make Snapchat filters. I do this a lot. I actually have some standing on teaching because I actually do make Snapchat filters. This is mainly for my friend Brenna. However, I'm sure other people will see this. So, just starting off. This is what you'll see when you open it up. Sorry, I keep looking over there. That's my camera and shit. But this is what it looks like. You have your camera, which is essentially this part. This 3D space doesn't mean a lot right now at the beginner level, so we're not going to get into that too much. But if you don't have any of these windows, stuff like that, just click Window, Panels, and you can click on these, and this is how I like it set up. You can also switch between different modes on the camera and switch between kind of what phone you have, whatever. I like iPhone 8, it just looks better, but it's not the point here. We're gonna make some Snapchat filters. So it's gonna be a little intimidating at first, but it's not. It's pretty cool. Click Add New, and a bunch of shit pops up, and you're like, oh no. But breaking it down, it gets pretty. It's not that hard. So we'll get into this screen stuff later, which is the orthographic camera, which is a whole new type of camera that overlays text like over the screen, and then the light you don't have to worry about unless you're doing like 3D objects and shadows and stuff, which is a bit more complicated. Image object, that is what puts things on the screen that are pictures. Text objects put things on the screen that's text. And I'll describe the difference between putting these in the orthographic camera versus the perspective camera. And audio, I don't use it a lot. I don't think a lot of people do. However, you can if you want, and I'll show you how to do that. Particles are pretty useful. So we'll get into that a little bit, but it's like really filter specific, so you don't use those that often either. These tracking things, nah, not really. It's like you don't really use them that much, or at least I never have. Helper scripts, behavior, that's like the really complicated stuff. That's where you see all the like when the filters scroll through a bunch of images on your head, and then you like open your mouth and it stops. That's what these scripts do. Post effects, this is how you get like effects on your screen, stuff like that. Like analog TV makes you makes like the TV grain and stuff like that. And color correction just kind of makes like a filter. It's like a filter essentially. And then these things right here are just like if you want to add a shape in, like a box, it just adds a box in your screen. And planes, shit like that. Face mesh, that's like my face. It just adds like an object of my face onto there. And then face effects, this is where we'll mainly use like in the beginner kind of parts, where eye color, face mask. Eye color just changes eye colors, not that big of a deal. Face mask is what you see like with the butterfly filter, where it has the butterflies on your face, and as you move it, they move with your face, like they stretch around, stuff like that. Face stretch, that's like adjusting. I don't know how to explain it. You know what face stretch is, like if you've been on Snapchat, where you can kind of change the shape of your face, change. It's just like funny filters, shit like that. Face image is when you put images over your face and they're like bound to your face as you move them. And face liquefy is like the ones that make like it's like a swirl in your face, or it's stuff like that. It's less like face oriented, more screen oriented. This is stuff that you have to actually like implement into your project to properly visualize. Face retouch, this one's used a lot. Also, you don't use liquefy and stretch a lot if you want to make mainstream filters, because a lot of mainstream filters don't like use those, I guess, and I'm more into mainstream shit, which is kind of lame, but like it's just what I do. Face retouch, skin smoothing, eye sharpening, eye whitening and teeth whitening. I need teeth whitening, but that is, you'll use a lot on your filters. It's just like a little kind of subtle thing that you add just to make it more appealing, I guess. But make sure you add them at really low values. I like to use like 0.25, 0.5, shit like that, because otherwise it makes everything really pixelated and gross and like way too obvious. And when you open your mouth like that, it turns your tongue white with the teeth whitening. So teeth whitening has to be really low. Otherwise, one, it's either way too obvious, or two, it just makes the whole mouth white and it just looks weird. Face inset is like, you can take like the right eye and like duplicate it, or like your mouth and put it on your forehead, shit like that. You can choose what, or like your nose, you can choose what like place on your face you want, and then you can like duplicate it and put it somewhere else or add it to another thing. And head binding, that's what differentiates all of these from these up here, is that it just binds whatever is underneath it, because it works in kind of an object-oriented like hierarchy, which probably doesn't make sense to a lot of you, but I'll explain it once you actually see it. But whatever's underneath head binding gets locked into the same position as the head. Instead of being like an image right here and then the head moving, it's an image right here and then it moves with your face like that. Spectacles, never messed with spectacles. I don't have a pair, so that's not what we're gonna work on. Also, that's a little more advanced. And legacy, you don't really use, because legacy means it's old and it's kind of outdated, so all these new things will just kind of replace that. Resources, these are your default resources. Render target, that just means the camera. Echo Park diffused, Echo Park, like, I don't know what spec means, but this is if you add objects in, you can create materials, which is basically like the texture that the object is rendered or created as. And if there's a reflection, you can set a reflection, but these are just the default reflections. And so what I do is I made a Minecraft diamond helmet once. I 3D modeled it, put it on, and then made it shiny. And then you can, there's like a little slot that you can set the reflection in, and I made it like my Minecraft world, stuff like that. So these are just the default reflection that will show up if you put something in and then don't put a texture for the reflection. So that's an explanation of everything you see. This is where more information will pop up. This is the preview. This is your camera that you can set up, whatever. And then up here, it won't say this. It'll say like login. But what you can do is click push lens to device, and then it will show up on your phone and you can use it. So we'll be doing that. And this is script editor. You're not going to use this right now because we're not getting into scripts. Project info, your name, size, preview, icon, and the hint. And I'll show all of these things to you once we finish the filter. And then publish lens is how you actually I'll publish it onto the like internet, I guess. And my lenses, this is where you access like your lenses and stuff like that. So it tells you your insights, it tells you all your like views, plays, and shares, everything like that. So let's see. First we're gonna start off. We're gonna make like a normal face filter, I guess. So let's add a image object. So adding an image object. This is where the 3D comes in. This is where the image is right now, but it's pressed up against the camera. This is its location in 3D space. X is left and right, so if you put like 10, it'll go to the right. If you do Y, that's up and down, so 10, it goes up. And then Z is backwards, like back and forward. And so if you put this at 10, or negative 10, sorry, or negative 40, it will show up on your screen. Because 0, it's inside the camera and it won't show up. And so we can take any object and add it in here, but I just like open up my folder and let's find a photo, and I just drag it in from my picture. So I'm gonna get a picture of me. Hold up. Actually, no. Okay, here. So this is a picture of my cat. And you put it into this texture tab right here, and then it will show up on the image. And you can adjust the scale. So if I want this smaller, we can go to 10, and it will adjust the scale for me. So that's the picture of my cat, and it's on my screen. So that's how you do it. You can change. So if you put stretch, then it will stretch to match these dimensions right here. But if you put fill, it will fill the dimensions that you set, but maintain the aspect ratio of the photo, so it won't like squish it together at all. But I like to use fill and cut because it's a lot more accurate, I guess, and useful depending on what you're making. But for now, you don't need to worry about that stuff. So just fit or whatever. Material, you don't need to worry about this, but you can make materials eventually. And blend mode, this is for mainly like masks and stuff that deal with lighting. So we'll get into that later. But that's image object. So if we delete that, we can add a text object. So now the text, same thing. It's right behind the camera, so we can move it back a little bit and say my first filter. Exclamation point. And so you can also insert different things from your phone's like sensor. So it's like I made it on. I can't type. I'm sorry. And then put like date. So I made it on March 28th, 2020. And you can size to fit, which is like your scale. So if you do 100, well, that's a little big, but do like 10, 10, 10. It'll do that. You don't really need to do Z because it doesn't go back. It's two-dimensional. But there it is. You can add custom fonts, and so I have font folder over here, and literally a website. If you go on download fonts, you click this, you have like so many, and all you do is just click download and you get them. And so I have a few downloaded that I really like, and that I think is the most important thing about a filter, is that fitting the like mood of the filter with like the font to the mood, if that makes sense. And so you can't have like a scary filter. Like I made one, how long is your school going to be quarantined? I made that, and like if it had this text, nobody would like appreciate it because it's just normal text. And so what you got to do is add text that like fits to your filter. And so if you make a Minecraft filter, it'll say something like that. So you can just find it online. They'll give you previews, stuff like that, free download. Just put it in, no big deal. Change the color right here, and you can add outlines. Adjust it. All this stuff is pretty self-explanatory. Don't do textures, that's a little more complicated, but you can change the drop shadow, which basically is just like the little thing in the back, you see it right here. And the background, I don't like using background, it's kind of ugly, but it's up to you depending on what you're trying to do. So that's text. And so now for the actual filter part, that's what I know you came here to see, I apologize. You can go to face effects, and so let's add eye color. So this will pop up effects. So you can change eye color and do whatever you want. I'm gonna make my eyes red, how about that? And then we're gonna do add new, and we're gonna go face image because that's the easiest thing. So you can see this head binding thing pop up, and you can see the image is moving with my face. If I take it out of it, it will stop moving. So that's what I meant by the hierarchy, where whatever is underneath this will, whatever is underneath something else will be affected by that something else. And so this is the lowest thing in the hierarchy, so it's affected by head binding, and it's under effects in the camera. And so if I take it out of all of these, it won't be affected by anything. But now it's affected. Doesn't make sense. So then I can add a picture of my cat to my face, and it will move with my face. And you can make it more see-through with this alpha slider. You can change its location up here, but I like just clicking and dragging like that. But so like that's the location on the face, but you can change its location on here, like on like 10. That's for like more specific stuff, but you can also change this. So now it goes like out, which is like weird. I don't know what you'd need that for, but you can also change pivot, but I don't use that a lot. You can just get it like, you can also change that, but you don't need this look at one much. And so this is how I made my first filter. You can put it on the cheeks, and if you click on something and then click Control or Command D, it will duplicate it, and then you can put it on the other. And so now I have my two cats. And if I click Push Lens to Device, I get this. So it'll pop up and we'll say it's ready to preview on the top, and then this little icon at the bottom will show up of that like yellow thing. And now I have my filter. So it works. But I'm gonna delete this now. So that's cool and all. However, it didn't match with my face, so it looked kind of weird. So that's what face mask is for. So you'll come up with this. So you can see it's meshed to my face, and like that. So this is the face mask. This is what it comes up. You can move stuff around like this. You can adjust like different features. I personally don't mess around with this because I feel like that just means you made a mistake in when you actually made the mask. So I think perfect it in the mask first. Don't mess around with these dots too much. So what I did is took a screenshot of this and added it to my folder as just that picture, and I called it face mask test layer. So it's just a screenshot of that face mask test layer. So I throw this in an editor. I use paint.net, and I'll show you how to do that right now. So I have paint.net right here, free software. I use it all the time, it's amazing. And so you open the image, and then over here, if you click this little button right here, layers will pop up, and you click add new layer, and select layer 2, and now you can do whatever you want. So you can take your photo, let's do a text one. So I do T for text, and there's also a toolbar over here that you can click text on, and make it like Quinn, because that's my name. And these are all your fonts. I use this font for my quarantine filter because it is kind of scary, and that's what I like. And I just download it from the internet, and you can import it into here. But Impact, it's pretty good for text. That's what I like to use. So you can do Quinn. Let's make it one of those like, nah, let's do no more. So Quinn, we'll set it like 36, and then do Quinn. And you can also use like copy and paste, but it's not that big of a deal to me. So I'll just put Quinn underneath, and let's add like a heart or something. So I drew this heart. If you add it as a layer, that will happen. However, you can just shorten it up like that. And so now there's a heart underneath. Paste. And so you can do this with any image. And so if you And so now you see it made a new layer, but you can just click merge layer down. And so now everything's on our second layer. And that is what it looks like. So what you gotta do is delete the background. Oh no. Okay, sorry. This usually doesn't happen. It's just the image is too big. So if this happens, just select that box and click Command C or Control C, and then Control or Command N, and then just paste it in. And copy and paste the second layer, select over this part, and paste it in right there, and you'll have what you want. And so then you can save this as I'll just call it Quinn Filter. And so you save it like that, and don't save the background. Save just this. Don't save it again with the new stuff on top, because you just want this as the default background. So you see how I said don't save on that because I had added stuff on top, and because it would have overridden this, and I wouldn't have the base anymore. So I always keep that as a base and save the other stuff on top. And so then you click and drag. Hold up, where's Quinn Filter? Quinn Filter. Okay, so you click and drag that in, and then under texture, you set that. So now it's on my face like that. And the mask, I think they have a little bit to work out, and this is where like I kind of messed up on the thing. So you can move these around to make it kind of fit more however you want. But like that's essentially how it is. So now we're gonna add the face retouch, because this is stuff. So this preview doesn't do shit, okay? It doesn't help like anything. Like, do you see that? Like, it kind of does, but like, So I prefer to look at my own face and see it, because that's how it's gonna look up on the camera. And so you can, so eye whitening, you see how freaking white that is? Like, it's a visible thing, but I like to keep my soft skin at like 0.5, because look, if you crank it up, you can see do you see the pixels? How it looks like little freaking squares on my face, like all over it, and that is not good. So keep it relatively low. Like, I think 1.2 is probably the max. I like 0.5 because it's enough where they don't notice it. Because if you have facial hair and shit, like, do you see all that just goes away? Like, I have hair up to here, now it's gone. And so it's like, I don't know, it's fuck, my friend's calling me, I'm sorry. But yeah, it's just, I like to keep that low. Teeth whitening, see? It does it to your tongue too, not just your teeth. It takes the whole mouth area and whitens it. So it's obvious if it is. Also, that's the most obvious thing on when it's actually on your phone. It's like blaring. So I think the max you can do is like 0.25 or 0.3, some shit like that. Also, eye sharpening, that does the same thing as the soft skin, except on your eyes, and so you can see the pixelation. Like, do you see it? It's just a lot of noise in my eyes. So I would not recommend that. But again, I like 0.5 on this. Max is probably 0.8, something like that. And then eye whitening. I don't know, eye whitening doesn't show up that bad on the camera, but it's still pretty obvious. So I think max is like 1.2. But I prefer to keep it around 0.5. So yeah, that's the retouch. And then like that could be like, this could be a filter right there. If you really want to, you could change like the blend mode to like this is getting into lighting, but if you change it to like linear light, stuff like that, well, it doesn't change much for this, but for other filters, the text will get like, yes, you can. It does like weird things to the text and to the images. So like this right here, it could just be a filter, and waiting. Push it, dude. Come on. Oh, there it is, my little notification. So now I got so I got that. So it works. And so now we'll go into the project info. So we'll just do Quinn. You can't do any special characters. It's literally only text, and there's a max to it as well. So if just pick out your name, short and sweet. So if I'll just call it Quinn. Lens preview, I'll show you how to do that in a bit, but choose lens icon. So you go down, I like to go down to the thing I'm actually using, and you can do this for masks, and then select a background and have like a cute color or whatever, something like that. Or you can shrink it and zoom in on just one, depending on like what your kind of deal is, I guess. So I'll just do that. Looks kind of cool. I'll click apply. And also if it's like smile or open your mouth, do this. I like to put smile just to remind people, smile, have a nice day, whatever, just an example. And for previews and stuff, you can click this little button right here. So this takes a screenshot. This mutes audio, but you don't really need audio. And this records a video. So it has to be at least 3 seconds long, the preview, but previews are not required, so remember that. Sometimes it's better not to have a preview. But click on that, whatever you want to do, and then just click save as like Quinn preview or whatever your name is, and then preview. So then you go to project info, click add lens preview, then choose file. Get right there. Boom. So there it is. And so now you have everything on there. You click apply. So now you click publish lens. A little screen will pop up. I have a company, so it comes up as like sponsored lenses, but I think yours only will show up as community lens. And you click on that. And the lens preview will automatically show up here. Lens tags, you'll do like Quinn. And you can do like Q, and go like heart, cool, mask, and you can have up to 8. You don't have to fill that entire 8, but it's whatever. And then just click submit. And what will happen, it'll bring you to this page and it'll say in review. Then in like 2 seconds, I should get a little like email. It's pretty fast, and it will say your Snapchat lens. Oh, see, it's live, and I got an email. It says your lens is live, and then your stats will come up here, and it will give you a little code. So what you do is you go on your phone, go on Snapchat, and flip the camera around like that, and then press and hold on, like put the camera up to the code right there and press and hold on it, and this little screen will pop up that says unlock snap, and then you click unlock for 48 hours, and then it will show up on the bottom of your screen. Oh look, my poster's getting my filter. So yeah, that happens, and now you can send it to your friends like that. So that's how you do it. I'll teach you how to make the scrolly ones later, but this is how you do like basic filters, basic masks, stuff like that, retouches. And then one last thing, actually, color correction. This is how people make like the filters like summer vibe, like some weird ass filter like that. You click like beauty, and so oh god, so it makes everything a little more white. So you can adjust the alpha, the how clear it is, and usually a lot of these are going to be low because they're really freaking strong. But you can like change it like that and get what you want. So a lot of it is just messing around with the values to get something that looks good and what you like. And then post effects, all these again, just mess around with them. So pixelation, stuff like that. If you want to change these, you go into this little material folder right here called pixelation, and you can adjust the values. So you can make it like just look a little pixelated, or you could like a lot pixelated. Like that. So yeah, a lot of this stuff you don't really need to worry about. It's mainly just the slider at the bottom, and that applies to. See, I just deleted the material, so it won't show up. But so delete everything from up here. Everything up here is what shows up on your actual camera, and so stuff that is most popular, it's like analog TV. And changing, that's the blue. A lot of stuff you just mess around with and it's like fun. I don't like the distortion, I personally, I guess, but you can change it like how you like, and a lot of stuff is just you mess around with it, and you see what you like, see what you don't, and so yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I gotta teach you for today, I guess, until we get into the actual like scrolling lenses and orthographic camera, stuff like that. So